First things first, the fresh raw milk is poured into a large vat for pasteurization, ensuring that any unwanted bacteria are eliminated and the milk is safely prepared for cheese making. Once it's all sanitized and ready, the magic begins. Special cultures and mold are added to the milk. These are the key ingredients that will give Stilton its signature blue veins and tangy flavor. Next up, once the milk has started to curdle and form solid curds, it's time to give them a little stir. Traditionally, this is done by hand, but modern-day machines are starting to lend a helping hand to make the process more efficient. The curds need to be gently stirred and cut to achieve the perfect texture. Nothing too firm, but just right for that creamy Stilton finish. After the milk has curdled, the curds are cut into small pieces using a curd knife or cutter. This helps them release more whey and achieve the right texture. Once cut, the curds are gently stirred to prevent them from clumping together, ensuring they remain even-sized. Traditionally, this is done by hand, but modern machines are often used for efficiency. The stirring continues until the curds firm up slightly, but still retain a soft, creamy texture. Once the curds have been stirred and cut, they're transferred from the vat to a draining table. This is where the excess whey is drained off, leaving behind the solid curds that will become the heart of the cheese. After that, it's time to chop up the curds into smaller pieces, ensuring they have a uniform size. An amount of salt is then mixed in, helping with flavor and preservation. After the curds are cut into small pieces and have firmed up slightly, they are gently transferred into molds to take shape. It's important not to press or compact the curds too much. This allows the cheese to maintain its delicate, creamy texture. Now, the cheese is carefully removed from the molds, revealing the beautifully shaped Stilton. At this point, the edges might be a bit rough or uneven, so a palette knife is used to smooth out the surface. The knife gently sculpts the cheese, ensuring a nice, even finish. After the cheeses are unmolded and smoothed, they are placed on racks in the aging or maturing room, where they'll rest and develop their flavor. This room is cool and humid, creating the perfect environment for Stilton to mature. After around 3 to 4 weeks, the next important step comes. The cheeses are taken to be pierced with long needles, also known as piercing. This allows air to enter the cheese, which is essential for the growth of the blue mold. The big needles create tiny holes that encourage the mold to spread inside the cheese, forming those characteristic blue veins. While this is happening, the cheeses are also turned regularly to ensure even aging and to help the mold grow evenly on all sides. After the Stilton cheese has been pierced and turned regularly for about 6 to 8 weeks, cheesemakers begin checking it using a special tool called a cheese trier. This long, hollow instrument is carefully inserted into the cheese to extract a small sample. By inspecting this sample, they can assess the cheese's texture, moisture content, and development of the blue mold. When the blue Stilton is ready, it has a firm yet creamy texture, with a crumbly interior that breaks apart slightly when cut. The blue mold will have spread throughout the cheese, creating beautiful blue-green veins that add to its visual appeal. Blue Stilton cheese is a famous British delicacy known for its bold, tangy flavor and creamy, crumbly texture. Its distinctive blue veins come from the Penicillium roqueforti mold, giving it a sharp, yet slightly sweet taste. Often called the King of English cheeses, Stilton is loved in the UK and around the world. It's versatile in cooking, perfect on cheese boards, paired with fruits and crackers, or crumbled into salads. Stilton is also great in soups, sauces, and pasta dishes, adding a rich, savory touch. For pairing, it goes wonderfully with full-bodied red wine. Life itself depends on salt. And from ancient times, humans have gone to extraordinary lengths to obtain it. More than just a seasoning, salt was essential for preserving food, healing the sick, and even performing sacred rituals. Its value made it a powerful trade commodity that shaped entire civilizations. In this video, we'll take you on a journey to see how this timeless mineral is harvested and processed today, from sun-soaked salt fields to high-tech factories, revealing the fascinating story behind every grain of salt. Ever since its discovery thousands of years ago, salt has had a deep and lasting impact on human civilization. Beyond its essential role in flavoring and preserving food, salt has shaped economies, cultures, religions, and even myths. It was so highly valued that entire trade networks, known as salt routes, emerged, where merchants would transport and sell salt to regions where it couldn't be naturally produced. Sea salt is made through a completely natural process. It forms when seawater slowly evaporates under the heat of the sun and the push of the wind. It sounds simple, but it's a delicate, time-consuming craft that can take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months, depending on the weather, how salty the water is, and the skill of the salt farmers. When seawater is pumped into salt fields, which are flat square or rectangular ponds lined with soil or concrete, the farmers carefully control how the water moves from one pond to the next. At each stage, the water becomes more concentrated. Eventually, when it reaches saturation, the salt starts to crystallize into tiny white grains and slowly settles at the bottom of the pond. Before each salt season begins, they carefully prepare the fields, leveling the surface and strengthening the banks to prevent leaks and hold the water in place. During the entire process, controlling water levels and wind flow is absolutely key. If the water evaporates too fast or too slow, the quality of the salt can be ruined. Once a thick layer of salt is formed, usually after several days to a week, it's time to harvest. Farmers use traditional tools like wooden rakes, or sometimes machines, to gently gather the salt without mixing in dirt. The salt is then piled up into white mounds to dry under the sun. When salt is taken from crystallization ponds, it often has dirt, sand, and other unwanted stuff mixed in. That's why we use a salt washery. Its job is to clean the salt and make it purer. First, the raw salt is placed on a conveyor belt. It's then moved into a washing tank, where fresh water or clean salt water is used to wash away the lighter impurities. Things that float or don't dissolve are removed using filters or special separators. Next, the salt goes through spinning drums or spraying systems for a more thorough wash. Some machines also use vibrations or spinning force to remove any remaining impurities. After cleaning, the wet salt is drained and dried using hot air or fans. Near large salt fields, massive salt depots are often built to store salt after it's been harvested. The salt is gathered and piled into tall salt mountains, not only to make transportation easier, but also to allow the salt to drain and dry naturally. Storing salt in these depots helps with easier management and saves time and effort in the handling and transportation process. Ever wondered how the famous Blue Stilton cheese is made? It all begins with fresh milk from some of the finest cows in the UK. But did you know that only a few select creameries are allowed to make this iconic cheese? In this video, we'll take you step by step through the incredible journey of one of the most beloved cheeses in the world. From the milking process to the blue-veined masterpiece that's aged to perfection. Let's see what it takes to create this legendary cheese. Get ready to have your taste buds tantalized by the king of cheese in the UK. Blue Stilton isn't just cheese, it's a British legend. Way back in the 18th century, in the charming village of Stilton, Cambridgeshire, the brilliant Mary Ann Brailsford concocted this masterpiece. And my friend, is it famous? Stilton is far and away the UK's most popular blue cheese, with over 1 million cheeses made per year. Only 6 licensed creameries, nestled in the heart of Derbyshire, Leicestershire, and Nottinghamshire, can craft this glorious cheese. And when the holidays roll around in the UK, the Stilton is definitely a festive favorite. And get this, the largest Stilton ever made weighed over a staggering 3,300 pounds. Before we get to enjoy the rich, creamy taste of Blue Stilton cheese, everything starts with taking great care of the cows. High-quality Blue Stilton is traditionally made using milk from British Friesian or Holstein Friesian cows, known for their consistent milk yield and rich butterfat content, perfect for cheese making. These cows aren't just kept in sterile barns all day either. They're often raised in modern, well-managed farms that combine indoor care with access to lush, open pastures, allowing them to graze freely and live healthier, more natural lives. Just imagine tens of thousands of tons of pure white salt making their way across the ocean on massive ships. Right now, you're witnessing one of those giant vessels being loaded in the middle of the sea. Something rare and seriously impressive. The salt is brought out from the port to the ship using special barges. What's really cool is that these barges are thoroughly cleaned and coated with lime to make sure not a single speck of coal dust from the port can mess with the quality of this premium-grade salt. At the offshore loading point, a skilled crew handles the transfer directly from the barges to the ship. They use cranes and loading chutes to get the salt into the ship's holds quickly and safely. When salt is produced on a large industrial scale, people no longer harvest it by hand. Instead, they use salt harvesting machines, which can be either fully automatic or semi-automatic. These machines are super convenient. They gather the salt, do a basic filtering of impurities, and load it straight onto trucks, all in one continuous process. But here's the thing. Machines can't be used just anywhere. They only work well in large industrial salt fields, where the surface is extremely flat, sturdy, and spacious, kind of like a runway at an airport. That way, the machines can run smoothly without issues. The clean salt is gathered and stored in massive salt warehouses, just like the one you're looking at right now. With a storage volume of more than 300,000 metric tons spread over 7.3 hectares, this facility holds the title of the largest salt terminal in a seaport area in Europe. It's a giant salt hub built for efficiency, scale, and non-stop global distribution. To turn salt from sun-drenched open salt fields into the clean, safe, and pure salt we use every day, it has to go through a detailed processing routine in a factory. First, the raw salt collected from the fields is brought into the plant for washing. Since raw salt often contains a lot of impurities like dirt, sand, and dust, this washing step is absolutely essential. The factory uses fresh water or clean brine to rinse the salt, washing away lighter impurities while heavier particles settle at the bottom. Next, the salt is filtered and spun in a centrifuge to remove any remaining water and filter out leftover unwanted minerals. Then comes the drying stage. At this point, the salt is still damp, so it's dried using hot air or forced ventilation. This process removes all moisture, preventing the salt from becoming soggy or clumping during storage. Once dry, the salt is crushed and graded, from coarse grains to fine salt, depending on how it will be used. A particularly important step in today's process is iodine fortification. Iodine is a crucial mineral that helps prevent goiter and other health issues, and the amount added must be carefully measured to meet food safety standards. Finally, the salt goes through one last quality check before it's packed using an automated system, either into large industrial bags or small packets for consumers. These farms are often equipped with large cooling fans, misting systems, and water spray zones that help regulate the barn temperature during hot days, keeping the cows calm and stress-free. Well, let me tell you, these cows are treated like the VIPs of the dairy world. Their diet consists of a carefully balanced mix of lush, green grass, high-quality silage, and specially crafted grain blends. Think of it as a gourmet meal plan designed for maximum milk production and taste. The grass is rich in nutrients, and during colder months, silage ensures they keep their energy up. And this is the free buffet in a grassy wonderland. The cows spend their days out in the lush fields, munching on fresh, nutrient-packed grass, which helps them stay strong and healthy. Grazing is more than just a snack. It's the key to the creamy, flavorful milk they produce, perfect for making that famous Stilton cheese. All right now, the cows are ready for their big moment. First, they are herded into the milking shed. The milking machines, all shiny and buzzing, are gently attached, and soon, those rich, creamy streams of milk are flowing into clean buckets. The process is smooth, efficient, and the cows are treated with care. In no time, the milk is collected, fresh and fragrant, ready to be turned into that iconic tangy Stilton that we all love. It's teamwork between the cows and farmers, and everyone's a winner in the end.